Chosen one, if you are hearing this message on December 23rd, understand this clearly. You did not arrive here by accident, curiosity, or coincidence. Something much deeper is at work. There are moments in life that look ordinary on the surface, but carry extraordinary weight beneath them, and today is one of those moments. December 23rd is not just another date passing quietly on the calendar. It is a sacred pause, a divine announcement, a moment where the unseen leans closer to the seen. Something rare is unfolding, and your awareness of it already places you apart. This message is not meant for everyone. It is not designed for those scrolling mindlessly, half listening, or spiritually asleep. It is for the 1%, the ones who feel before they understand, who sense shifts before they become visible, who know in their spirit when destiny is knocking softly instead of kicking the door down. Today carries the energy of release, but not the kind that comes through noise or force. This release happens quietly, intentionally, and precisely. Imagine a divine vault, sealed long ago, opening not because time ran out, but because alignment finally arrived. What is being opened today was never delayed by mistake. It was protected, guarded, reserved for the exact version of you that exists right now, stronger, wiser, more discerning than you were before. The gifts being released on December 23rd are not generic blessings handed out randomly. They are assigned, soul-specific, and connected to your journey in ways only you could fully recognize. There is urgency here, but not panic. This is not pressure, it is precision. Moments like this do not repeat endlessly. Energy waits, but it does not linger forever. Destiny opens windows, not permanent doors. That is why you may feel a quiet pull in your chest, a subtle alertness, a sense that something matters more than usual right now. That feeling is not imagination. It is recognition. Your spirit knows when it is standing in front of something sacred. Stay with this message until the end. Not because of fear of missing out, but because activation happens through attention. Something within you is already responding. Something dormant is stirring. And once it fully awakens, you will not be able to return to who you were before this moment. This is your warning and your invitation. December 23rd has found you, and that alone says more than words ever could. Chosen one, December 23rd is not powerful because of superstition, coincidence, or the turning of a calendar page. It is powerful because it functions as a divine timestamp, a moment where unseen cycles align with your personal journey in a way that cannot be forced, rushed, or repeated on demand. There are days when nothing seems to move no matter how hard you try, and then there are days when everything shifts with little effort. This is one of those days. Divine timing does not operate on urgency or impatience, it operates on readiness. And readiness is not about perfection, it is about alignment. That is why this energy does not respond to everyone equally. Two people can stand in the same moment, under the same sky, on the same date, and only one will feel the internal shift. Awareness is the difference. This is why not everyone can access what today carries. It is not hidden because it is exclusive. It is hidden because it is sacred. Sacred things are never loud. They are subtle, intentional, and discerning. Divine energy reveals itself only to those who are awake enough to notice when something is different. Many people live trapped in calendar time, counting days, weeks, and years, while missing divine time entirely. Calendar time measures duration. Divine timing releases destiny. And on December 23rd, those two timelines briefly intersect. What you have been preparing for internally finally finds an external opening. This moment did not arrive randomly. It arrived because something in you matured. Your discernment sharpened. Your tolerance for misalignment decreased. You stopped chasing what no longer fit. That inner shift created space, and space is what divine timing requires. Awareness is the entry key. Alignment is the door. Awakening is the permission. Without these, the energy passes by unnoticed, like a whisper drowned out by noise. If you feel unusually alert today, more reflective than usual, more sensitive to meaning, more aware of what no longer belongs, that is not mood. And it is not imagination. That is activation. You are tuning into a frequency that only appears at specific intersections of time and readiness. This is why forcing outcomes never worked before. This is why waiting felt painful but necessary. The delay was not denial, it was calibration. On days like this, the universe does not ask you to do more, it asks you to see more. To recognize that you are standing inside a moment designed to be felt rather than explained. The awakened recognize divine timestamps not by signs in the sky, but by shifts in the soul. And if you are here, hearing this, feeling that quiet confirmation inside, then understand this clearly. December 23rd did not just arrive. It arrived for you, chosen one. What is being released on December 23rd is not random luck, sudden chance, or a blessing pulled out of thin air. These gifts have history. They have memory. They carry your name on them. What arrives today was never meant to be rushed, because anything powerful enough to change your life must be strong enough to meet you where you are now, not where you were when you first asked. These are soul-marked gifts, pre-assigned long before disappointment tried to convince you that nothing was happening. They were reserved, not forgotten. Preserved, not postponed. And the reason they followed you so closely is because they are connected to who you are becoming, not just what you wanted. These gifts were hidden in the unseen realms, protected from premature exposure. Had they arrived earlier, they might have overwhelmed you, distracted you, or even damaged you. Timing mattered more than desire. What felt like silence was actually safeguarding. What felt like waiting was refinement. The universe was not testing your patience, it was preparing your capacity. That is why these gifts could not be accessed through force, manipulation, or effort. They required endurance, discernment, and a willingness to keep going even when there was no visible reward. Spiritual patience became the wrapping. Quiet faith became the seal. You may have noticed that no matter how far you drifted, these gifts never stopped following you. They tracked your growth. They waited through your confusion. They stayed close during seasons when you doubted your own worth or questioned your direction. That is because they recognized you even when you didn't recognize yourself. Destiny does not lose sight of what it belongs to. On December 23rd, what was tracking you now steps forward to meet you. Understand this clearly. These gifts are not arriving to impress you or elevate your ego. They are arriving to align you. Some will look like opportunities. Others will look like clarity. Some will arrive as peace where chaos once lived. Others will arrive as endings that finally make sense. Not every gift comes wrapped in excitement. Some come wrapped in relief. Some arrive quietly, changing your inner world before your outer world ever notices. This is why comparison is irrelevant today. What is being released to you will not look like what someone else receives, because it was never meant to. Your path required a specific set of tools, insights, and adjustments. These gifts were custom fit to your journey, your wounds, your wisdom, and your future responsibilities. They followed you because they belong to you, not because you chased them well enough. If you feel something settling rather than exploding, aligning rather than rushing, grounding rather than overwhelming, that is the signature of a destined gift. You are not behind. You were never late. You are being prepared for something that could only arrive now. And on December 23rd, the unseen finally agrees with the visible. You're ready to receive what was always yours. Chosen one, understand this clearly. Divine moments respond to participation, not passivity. Alignment opens the door, but intention decides whether you walk through it. On December 23rd, the energy surrounding you is not waiting for effort, struggle, or perfection. It is waiting for agreement. This is why awareness alone is not enough today. What you focus on, what you speak, and what you consciously choose to align with carries unusual weight in this moment. Even the smallest intentional act becomes amplified when timing and readiness meet. This is not a day to drift unconsciously. It is a day to respond. Writing your wishes today is not about begging the universe or listing wants out of desperation. It is an act of clarity. When you write, you move intention from thought into form. Pairing those intentions with the number 99 is not superstition. It is symbolic alignment. 99 represents completion, fullness, and the closing of cycles. It signals readiness to receive what comes after endurance. It is your way of saying, I understand the season I am in, and I am prepared for what follows. Symbols speak the language of the subconscious and the spiritual realm, and today, that language is heard clearly. Your voice carries power on December 23rd in a way that is subtle, but undeniable. Words spoken today do not fade quickly, they echo. Declarations land deeper. Intentions spoken aloud imprint more strongly. This is why silence and speech both matter today. Speak with awareness. Speak with intention. Avoid careless words, because even doubt spoken lightly carries weight. At the same time, do not remain silent out of fear of saying the wrong thing. Alignment is not about control, it is about authenticity. Speak what is true in your spirit, even if your mind does not yet understand it. This is also not a solitary moment. While your journey is deeply personal, today carries a collective activation. Across different places and lives, others who belong to the same frequency are feeling the same quiet pull, a sense that something is shifting, that it is time to participate rather than wait. You may not know them, but you are aligned with them. When one chooses consciously, it strengthens the field for others doing the same. This is how unseen support forms. Activation does not require dramatic gestures. It requires presence. Light a candle with intention. Write in stillness. Speak a quiet declaration. Choose awareness over distraction. These small acts signal readiness more clearly than frantic effort ever could. On days like this, the universe listens less to motion and more to alignment. If you feel slightly exposed, slightly emotional, or unusually aware while doing this, do not retreat. That sensitivity is part of the activation. You are not opening yourself to chaos, you are opening yourself to reception. The moment you consciously participate, you move from observer to receiver. And on December 23rd, that shift matters more than anything else. You are not waiting for permission. Your participation is the permission. Chosen one, December 23rd places a quiet but powerful decision before you. Not one that demands announcement or explanation, but one that determines what happens next. There are always two paths present during moments of divine alignment. One is familiar. It feels safe because it is known. It is built from routine, repetition, and survival patterns that once protected you. The other path feels different, less predictable, less comfortable, yet undeniably alive. This is the path of revelation, where guidance replaces habit and alignment replaces control. Neither path forces itself upon you. The power of this moment lies in the fact that you must choose. Routine is not evil. It is efficient. It keeps life moving when energy is low and clarity is scarce. But routine becomes limiting when it is used as a shield against growth. Revelation, on the other hand, does not announce itself loudly. It whispers. It nudges. It invites rather than demands. This is why many people miss it. Revelation requires courage, not the loud kind, but the quiet courage to step away from what feels familiar and into what feels aligned but unexplained. On December 23rd, you may notice this tension inside you, one part wanting to stay where things are predictable, and another part sensing that staying the same will cost more than changing ever could. Preparation has already happened. You have endured enough, learned enough, and released enough to qualify for access. What remains is choice. Access is not earned through struggle, it is unlocked through decision. Energy waits for consent. It does not force transformation, because forced growth never lasts. This is why nothing dramatic may appear on the outside today. The real shift happens internally, when you choose alignment over attachment. That choice is subtle, but it is irreversible. The familiar path will always offer comfort, even when it no longer serves you. It will tell you to wait a little longer, to stay quiet, to avoid risk. Revelation, however, asks for trust without full visibility. It asks you to move without guarantees. This does not mean recklessness, it means responsiveness. Divine guidance rarely provides the full map. It provides the next step. And today, that next step becomes visible only after you choose to see it. Energy does not chase you. It responds to you. That is why nothing shifts when indecision remains protected. On days like this, neutrality is still a choice, and it always defaults to the familiar. Revelation cannot enter where routine is defended. This is not about abandoning your life or making impulsive decisions. It is about recognizing where you have been surviving instead of aligning, repeating instead of responding, waiting instead of choosing. On December 23rd, you are not asked to have everything figured out. You are asked to choose which voice you will trust, the voice of fear that clings to what is known, or the voice of alignment that leads you into what is next. That choice does not need an audience. It needs honesty. And once it is made, energy that has been waiting patiently begins to move, not because it was convinced, but because it was invited. Chosen one, as you step into alignment on December 23rd. One of the first signs you may notice is not something dramatic happening around you, but something quietly shifting within you. Confusion that once felt heavy begins to loosen its grip. The fog that blurred your direction starts to lift, not all at once, but enough for you to see your next step clearly. This clarity does not come from forcing answers or overthinking decisions. It arrives gently, almost effortlessly, as if something inside you suddenly remembers how to see. This is the activation of divine perception, a form of insight that does not rely on logic alone, but on inner knowing. You may notice conversations taking on new meaning. Words that once passed by unnoticed now land differently. Certain statements resonate deeply, while others suddenly feel hollow or misaligned. Ideas that felt scattered begin to organize themselves without strain. Connections click into place naturally. This is not coincidence. This is what happens when spiritual sight begins to override natural sight. You are no longer trying to figure everything out. You are recognizing what fits and what doesn't. And recognition is faster, quieter, and far more accurate than analysis. Divine perception does not shout. It does not argue. It simply shows you what is true. That is why doubt begins to lose its authority today. Doubt survives in confusion, but it weakens when clarity arrives. You may still feel questions, but they no longer paralyze you. Instead of spinning in uncertainty, you feel guided towards simplicity. This is a sign that your inner compass is recalibrating. You are learning to trust what you perceive rather than what you fear. On December 23rd, you are being invited to lean into this clarity rather than dismiss it. The mind may try to challenge it, asking for proof, reassurance, or guarantees. But divine perception does not operate on evidence, it operates on alignment. It feels calm, grounded, and steady, even when it leads you toward change. This is how you recognize it. Anxiety pushes. Fear rushes. Divine perception settles. You may find yourself seeing past illusions that once held power over you. Situations that confused you now appear straightforward. People reveal themselves without effort. Patterns become obvious. This is not cynicism, it is discernment. Discernment is a gift that activates when you are ready to see without attachment. It allows you to trust what you perceive without needing validation from others. This is also why it is important today to trust your inner sight over external noise. Too many voices can drown out clarity. Comparison, opinions, and distractions weaken perception. Stillness strengthens it. The quieter you become inside, the clearer everything becomes outside. On December 23rd, clarity is not something you chase, it is something you allow. If you feel moments of sudden understanding, subtle realizations, or a sense that certain decisions are now obvious when they weren't before, honor that. Do not rush past it. Do not explain it away. This is your divine perception activating, guiding you gently but firmly toward what aligns with your next chapter. And once you see clearly, you cannot unsee. This clarity is not temporary, it is foundational. Chosen one, on December 23rd, not every gift arrives wrapped in excitement or obvious reward. Some of the most powerful gifts moving toward you today are invisible at first glance, yet life-altering in impact. We are conditioned to look for tangible proof: money, opportunities, recognition, material success, and while some visible blessings may indeed appear, many of today's gifts arrive in quieter forms. Peace where there was constant mental noise. Rest where exhaustion once ruled. Wisdom where confusion drained your energy. Protection where harm could have entered but didn't. These are not small gifts. They are foundational ones. One of the most misunderstood forms of divine favor is subtraction. Sometimes the greatest gift is not what is added, but what is removed. On December 23rd, you may notice people drifting away, conversations ending naturally, or situations losing their grip on you without conflict. This is not loss, it is preservation. Certain relationships, environments, and habits were draining your energy slowly, subtly, and consistently. Their removal creates space for what actually belongs. Divine intelligence often protects you by distancing you from what your growth would eventually outgrow anyway. Answered prayers do not always arrive wearing the form you imagined. You may have prayed for relief and instead received an ending. You may have asked for clarity and instead received distance from distraction. You may have begged for strength and instead received stillness. These are not misdeliveries. They are precise responses. The universe answers at the level of need, not expectation. And on days like this, the answers prioritize alignment over appearance. Visible gifts may arrive later, opportunities, connections, resources, but the invisible ones arrive first, preparing the internal ground. Without inner peace, external success overwhelms. Without wisdom, opportunity becomes pressure. Without protection, growth attracts unnecessary resistance. That is why today's gifts may feel subtle yet grounding, quiet yet stabilizing. They are rearranging your inner world so your outer world can shift without collapse. It is important to remain open to how gifts arrive. Resistance blocks reception. Expectation narrows perception. Openness allows surprise. If you cling too tightly to one idea of blessing, you may overlook what is already working in your favor. On December 23rd, flexibility becomes a form of faith. Trust that what is leaving is making room. Trust that what is arriving knows the way better than you do. If something feels lighter today, even without explanation, honor that. If you feel a sense of relief without a clear reason, receive it. If certain worries lose their urgency, let them go. These are signs that invisible gifts are doing their work beneath the surface. They may not be Instagram-worthy moments, but they are destiny-shaping ones. Remember this. Not every blessing announces itself. Some simply restore you. And on December 23rd, restoration is one of the greatest gifts you could receive, because from a restored place, everything else flows with ease. Chosen one, there comes a moment in every destiny where the universe responds not to words spoken aloud, but to everything endured in silence. December 23rd carries that kind of energy. It is a day marked by divine acknowledgement, the quiet but powerful moment where heaven says, "I saw it all." The tears you didn't explain, the strength you had to summon daily just to keep moving, the kindness you offered when you were empty, the integrity you maintained when it would have been easier to compromise. None of it was overlooked. None of it was wasted. Divine recompense is not revenge, and it is not punishment. It is restoration with purpose. Spiritual payback does not come to destroy those who hurt you. It comes to lift you beyond the reach of what once wounded you. That is why this form of reward feels different. It brings peace instead of chaos, elevation instead of conflict, and clarity instead of confusion. You are not being compensated to relive pain. You are being compensated so you can finally release it. There were seasons when it felt like your endurance went unnoticed. You may have wondered why others seemed to move ahead while you remained stuck, doing the hard internal work no one applauded. But destiny keeps records the mind cannot access. Every moment of restraint, every time you chose growth over reaction, every silent yes to integrity accumulated weight. On December 23rd, that weight begins to translate into momentum. This recompense is not loud. It does not arrive with announcements or apologies. It arrives as alignment. Situations shift without confrontation. Opportunities open without explanation. People treat you differently without knowing why. You find yourself no longer needing to prove your worth because life itself begins responding to you differently. This is what spiritual payback looks like when it is designed to build rather than break. Pain always carried a price tag, not because suffering was required, but because transformation demands depth. What you endured expanded your capacity, sharpened your discernment, and refined your identity. You are not receiving blessings in spite of what you went through. You are receiving them because of it. The pressure shaped you into someone capable of holding what is now arriving. If you feel a quiet sense of justice settling today, not anger, not triumph, but relief, that is recompense. If old wounds no longer sting the way they used to, that is recompense. If you feel seen without needing recognition, that is recompense. Heaven does not rush repayment. It releases it when it can no longer be mishandled. On December 23rd, allow yourself to receive without revisiting the pain that qualified you. You do not need to re-explain your story to earn what is unfolding now. The record has already been reviewed. What is arriving is not late, it is right on time. And this time, it comes to stay. Chosen one, December 23rd is not a day for chasing, forcing, or overexerting yourself in the hope that something will finally happen. The energy moving through today does not respond to pressure. It responds to stillness. This is a receiving day, not a wrestling day. Many people exhaust themselves trying to control outcomes, believing that effort alone opens doors. But divine alignment works differently. When timing is right, movement becomes minimal and results become natural. What is meant for you today does not require pursuit. It requires permission. Stillness is often misunderstood as an activity, but it is actually a state of deep alignment. When you become still, you stop interfering with what is already arranging itself on your behalf. You create space for guidance to rise above mental noise. On December 23rd, inner quiet becomes your greatest advantage. The more you settle your mind, the more clearly you sense direction. This is not about disconnecting from life. It is about disconnecting from unnecessary struggle. When you stop pushing, you start perceiving. Sensitivity is heightened today, and that is intentional. You may feel emotions more deeply than usual, sense subtle shifts in energy, or become more aware of what feels draining versus nourishing. This sensitivity is not a weakness. It is a receiving mechanism. When you are sensitive, you notice what aligns and what doesn't. You recognize when something feels peaceful instead of pressured. You sense when a door is opening quietly instead of being forced open. Sensitivity allows you to receive guidance without resistance. Guarding your peace is essential today. Your mind does not need to process everything. Not every thought deserves your attention. Noise, mental, emotional, or external, interferes with reception. On days like this, peace becomes a form of protection. Choose environments, conversations, and activities that calm rather than stimulate. Avoid arguments, overexposure to negativity, and unnecessary decisions. What is meant to reach you today requires clarity, not chaos. There is a profound difference between wrestling and receiving. Wrestling comes from fear, the fear of missing out, falling behind, or losing control. Receiving comes from trust. Trust that what is aligned will arrive without force. On December 23rd, alignment replaces effort. You are not required to convince the universe of your worth. That work has already been done. Now, you are being asked to allow. If you notice moments where you feel calm without knowing why, or guided without understanding how, do not question it. That calm is not emptiness, it is readiness. That guidance is not imagination, it is alignment. When you stop demanding proof and start trusting the process, reception becomes effortless. Today is not about doing more. It is about interfering less. Let what is unfolding complete its movement. Stay open. Stay present. Stay still enough to notice what is arriving softly instead of dramatically. Because on December 23rd, the greatest shifts do not announce themselves, they are received. Chosen one, there is a reason this message resonates with you while countless others pass it by without feeling a thing. It is not because you are better than anyone else, it is because you are aware. Most people move through life on autopilot, reacting to circumstances, numbing discomfort, and ignoring the subtle nudges that try to guide them. Divine communication is rarely loud. It whispers, it nudges, it invites. And only a small percentage of people ever pause long enough to listen. That is why the 1% is not defined by status, wealth, or recognition. It is defined by sensitivity and awareness. You notice shifts before they become visible. You feel when something is off, even if you cannot explain why. You sense when a season is ending before the door fully closes. This awareness is not accidental. It is inherited. You come from a spiritual lineage of listeners, those who survived by discernment, intuition, and inner guidance. Somewhere in your bloodline, there were people who prayed, hoped, and endured without ever seeing the fulfillment of what they believed for. Their resilience lives on through you. You are not carrying their pain. You are carrying their potential. On December 23rd, this awareness becomes more than a trait. It becomes a recognition moment. Recognition is when something ancient inside you responds to something present outside you. It is the quiet realization that this message did not just reach you, it found you. Energy does not scatter itself randomly. It targets alignment. If you are hearing this now, it means your inner frequency matched what was being released. That match is what places you in the 1%. Most people miss divine nudges because they are distracted by noise, fear, comparison, urgency, or external validation. You may still experience those things, but you do not let them rule you. You question them. You feel beyond them. You pause. That pause is where guidance enters. That pause is rare. And rarity creates access. Being part of the 1% does not mean life has been easy. In fact, it often means the opposite. Sensitive people feel more deeply. Aware people endure more confusion before clarity arrives. Listeners are tested by silence before direction becomes clear. But these challenges refine perception rather than dull it. You did not shut down. You stayed open. And openness is what qualifies you for what is unfolding now. On December 23rd, understand this clearly. You are not being invited into something new. You are being recognized for something you already are. Destiny responds to recognition. When you recognize yourself, energy recognizes you in return. This is not about ego. It is about ownership. Owning your awareness. Owning your sensitivity. Owning your role as someone who notices, listens, and responds. The moment you realize why you are the 1%, comparison dissolves. You stop trying to fit into spaces that were never meant to hold you. You stop explaining your depth to people who cannot perceive it. You stop doubting your intuition. And in that recognition, alignment becomes effortless. This is not a title you claim. It is a truth you remember.